Nevermore Project, Day 4. Well, apparently in addition to my duties as head researcher, I am now also a chief negotiator, tour guide, and my own bloody secretary. I've had 5 meetings today. Not really done any science, but I've done a lot of talking. And I must say, I don't like it. I do what I do because I enjoy the science. I don't enjoy all the meetings. Oh yes, not that I disliked meeting you, Miss Oiti. In fact, you are a remarkable treasure of a woman, and I certainly hope that we can always maintain an amenable relationship. I spoke with your Miss Eddington. I assume that she's one of yours. She had a card and it had Inquisition on it, and I assume you all know each other well. So yes, I spoke with her, and she is going to be coming by tomorrow to meet with our patient. Guest. Yes, guest. We'll go with guest. We'll go with guest, and she is going to be meeting with him tomorrow so that she can assure you that we are treating him with absolute and total proper respect. Yes. Well, as much as we can, considering how much of him we've removed. But he can sit up, and he can speak. There's not been too much damage to his vocal cords, or his throat, or his neck. Yes, we did have to bore in another tap, but that's simply because the skin around the other one was rotting. Interesting effect. I did not know that there were certain metal allergies involved with being a vampire. Fascinating, actually. I'm going to run a full spectra on metallic elements tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be able to find exactly what it is that seems to hurt them so badly. Of course, the focus of this study is on the healing arts. Vampiric blood, is, as I noted before, has remarkable regenerative properties, but there's nothing wrong with trying to develop some anti-vampiric defenses as well. There are several interesting panels on special bullets, and while I admit that a lot of our research there is being cadged from rival organizations, including some absolutely fascinating work by a woman who I wish worked for our faction. But, luckily for us, there were some remarkable files in amongst the personal effects of our subject guest, and I was able to use those to, I shipped those right along to our ballistics division. Fascinating stuff, actually. And I believe that I'm going to be able to use what we are learning now, along with that, to perfect some rounds for our troops in the field. There's nothing wrong with being able to take the bloodsuckers down, especially when so many of them are apt on sucking our blood. I'm taking the opportunity to record this particular log while we have a special guest. Another guest. We have so many guests these days. While we have a special guest in our facility, a member of the Dragons. Not a real dragon, mind you. We haven't had a real dragon incident since May, and I'm still trying to mop all the detritus off the walls in Deck B. It was a nasty bit of incident. On the other hand, it did show that our rocket launchers were working well. No, this particular dragon is a woman. Blonde hair, tan skin, attractive, I suppose, if one's into that sort of thing. Seemed fairly reasonable. Did call me Mengele twice, but who can hold that against her? I mean, wish I had his track record, frankly. But I don't know. With this particular subject, I may end up creating that many useful patents, especially in medicine. Some of the parallels that she drew were, of course, naive, but then she's a layman, or laywoman, whatever the proper term is, in the science arts. I mean, she can't possibly understand that what we're doing here, we're doing for the species. Right. So, she's off coddling our guest. We're at the 5-minute mark, so let me just put in another couple of notes, things that I don't want to forget for tomorrow. I was hoping that it wouldn't come to this, but researcher Peter has absconded from the building, and in fact his personal domicile as well, taking with him several key files, and Rover, interestingly enough. I had him under observation after pulling him off the Nevermore project, but he managed to slip through the net, and he took with him his personal computer. After disabling the tracking chip, he opened the cages. That was a bloody mess. And by the end of it, we realized that amongst the corpses, we did not find Rover. We're also missing 2 vials of the anima art, artificial anima. I don't really know what's going to come of that, but I'm a bit worried. Append this to the Paladins and send it up to Temple Hall after I clean this up so that there's no way it can be tracked back to me.